Welcome to the show. Hi, I'm Randy Jeffers, and we are live from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, we have a really special show for you. We have the famed playwright and novelist Mildred Dumas from L.A. Mildred,
Hi
welcome.
there,
How are you?
everybody.
Great to have you here, and we have with you your theater director.
That's right.
Who's directed a lot of projects in Los Angeles and around the world. And that's
Yes.
Naomi Stinson. Naomi, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, best day of my life. Hey, great to have both of you here, and we're going to have a wonderful time. Mildred, you and I had a chance to visit a little bit and get acquainted on a previous occasion, and you have just done it all, haven't you?
Well, I've been doing my best. Everything I can get into, theater-wise, movie-wise, I'm doing it.
Well, I know you don't keep it a secret, so let's just start with the age thing and get it out of the way, because you look like you're 55 years old. But tell us how old you are, really.
I am 84.
84.
You are the best-looking 84-year-old person I've ever seen. You look so young. And as you were telling me, that's because you are an herbalist. You take a lot of herbs every day, and you keep
That's
yourself in
right.
great shape, right?
I do herbs and no drugs.
Good. Well, that's fabulous. Well, just amazing. Well, Naomi, you likewise look like you're in pretty good health, and you're very active and doing a lot of things. If you could describe Mildred, how would you do that?
Ball of energy.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Uh-huh.
Keep going.
Wise.
Wise. Okay.
Funny.
And funny. Well, those are pretty good combinations right there. Well, Mildred, you have written a number of plays, a number of novels, screenplays. I think you've done some sitcoms, as I understand. Just a lot of things. Just give us a little background about you, and put your modesty in your hip pocket and just brag about yourself for a little bit, if you would.
Well, I've been writing since I was 10 years old.
Wow.
I started writing comic books, stick
Uh-huh.
figures overhead with circle dialogue. I could not draw, so that's why I had to have the stick figures. And my friends and I enjoyed my comic books.
Uh-huh.
I did my first play when I was 14 years old. One of my
Nice.
sisters and some friends, we performed it on my parents' front porch. And we
Wow.
put out benches and tables, wooden tables and benches for people to sit on. And our neighbors and friends came in, and they paid a nickel or a dime or whatever
Uh-huh.
at the gate to come in to see my play. And my best friend's mother told me she really enjoyed that play and asked me if I'd ever thought about writing as a career. And I told her no. But then in my early 20s, I did decide that was what I wanted to do. So that's when I started really concentrating on my writing. And I have written so many plays, I really can't tell you how many. Some of them did pick up, and they were produced by theaters around the country and by me. I decided if I wanted my work out there, I had to start it myself, so that's what I did. And when the Paul Robeson players picked up on me, they picked up on one of my plays called Uncle Rufus, and that was in, I guess, the 70s.
In the 70s.
In the 70s, they were doing plays out here. I was living in Colorado then, and that play was so well received that they did quite a few productions of it. And I was so impressed and all, and I just went back home and packed up and moved out to California. And they've been producing my plays, and I've been producing them ever since. And Naomi was in quite a few of my plays before she decided she wanted to direct instead of being on stage. But me, I jumped on stage and she started directing. So that's where we are now.
Oh, well, that's fabulous. Well, Naomi, tell us a little bit about you and how you got started.
Well, I moved from Detroit to California in 1971, and I had family out here, but I didn't know anybody else. And I ran into a young man, and he told me about the Communicative Arts Academy in the city of Compton that was free and open to the public, and they said they had a drama workshop, and I said, "Oh, well, that would be interesting to look into." So I got bit by the bug, and we started with the Communicative Arts Academy, and was able to go to Nigeria in 1977 to do a play at the Second World Arts Festival. We were there for 2 weeks. It was awesome.
Wow.
And we came back. We decided to also change our name to the Paul Robeson Players. And when the academy closed, we were independent on our own and continued doing theater all over Los Angeles.
Wow. So you've had
So I
quite a lengthy
was
career.
acting a lot, and then I got bit by the directing bug, and I decided to go forward with that.
Now, when did you meet Mildred?
Mildred, you came out in the 80s?
I did move out in 1983, but she met me when I came to Los Angeles to see the production of one of my plays.
Yes.
The Paul Robeson Players produced my plays. They began producing my plays before I moved out here.
Oh.
So I came to a production. Were you in Uncle Rufus?
No, I was the assistant director and stage manager
Oh,
in
okay.
that one. And then from there, she wrote My Brother's Blood, dealing with gangs back. That was way in the early 80s.
Gang violence, yes, and drugs. I wrote that one. And I wrote one called Looking for a Man.
Yeah, that was a great one.
And she was involved in all of those. And then she began directing, and she directed how many of mine? Both of my Grieving Widows auxiliaries. We have part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 is what we're doing now. And she directed one entitled When the Past Comes Back. That's the one about sorority hazing. And another one called A Gathering of First Ladies. That was a stage play about women who have received firsts in their lives or their careers.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that she has directed.
So you pick subjects that are timely and also very important things that people really are dealing with currently, right?
Most of them,
Yeah.
except this one that we're doing now. It's a comedy. It's for entertainment only, and our audiences are loving it. We have had 2 productions now. One in Inglewood, California, by my producer, Miss Rochelle Williams. She produces, as I write my plays, she produces every one of them.
Oh.
And after that production, we traveled to Santa Clarita, and this is where we are now, broadcasting out of Santa Clarita. And we went to what was the name of the state? Maine. The Maine Theater here in Santa Clarita. That was our 2nd production. Our 3rd production is coming up on the 21st of October, and that's going to be at a church in Tacoma. Now,
I'm trying to see.
Naomi's holding up the flyer.
All right, so let's go over that. We want to make sure we do a good commercial for that play. So that play starts on what date?
October 21st.
October 21st. Okay.
Uh-huh,
And if
it's
somebody wants
going
to
to
get
be-
tickets for that, how do they do that?
Say that again.
If someone wants to get tickets, how do they get tickets?
Oh, okay. It's being performed by where's the church?
It's called the Great Room.
The Great Room Greater Community Center at 11076 Norris Avenue in Tacoma, California. Now let me give you the name of the lady. Her name is Jackie, and her telephone number is 818-408-9993. Or they can call Deborah at 818-426-5058.
Okay. Now, Naomi, are you involved in this production as well?
Yes, I'm directing the play.
Oh, so you're the director. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Mhm.
Talk to us
Yeah,
a little bit about being a director. What's that like?
You know, it's awesome to me. it just it's giving me a chance to create.
Hmm.
I take something that's written, that's on paper, and I can imagine it. So when I'm reading Mildred's script, I see everything in Technicolor. I see it as a movie in my brain.
Wow. Yeah.
And so when I'm rehearsing, I'll stop in the middle of rehearsal, and they look at me, and I'm in a daze because I see what I want in Technicolor, and they start laughing. They said, "Okay, what do you want to change? What do you want to do?" But I really enjoy directing. That's like a gift from God, the way He has me to be able to visualize things right on the spot. And reading Mildred's plays, each one of them I've read, especially the ones that are comedy, uh, I would take the play with me wherever I go to read it, and I'm laughing out loud because her humor is fantastic. I mean,
Thank you. Thank
to be
you.
an 84-year-old young woman,
That's right. That's right.
yes. So I'm 68, and we work well together.
We do.
We do.
My
Yeah.
goodness. Well, you both look absolutely fabulous. So, as a director now, when you have a
Hmm.
screenplay in front of you, do you deviate at all from the words that are written a little bit, or do you have how does that work?
Yes, she does. Changes quite a few of my words,
Uh-oh.
but we yeah we end up with everything being okay.
It's
Oh,
okay.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
Because it might flow a little bit better if I do get her permission,
Uh-huh.
and work with Mildred. I can ask her what did she have in mind to make sure I'm not off the course in directing what she has written. So we sit down and we discuss the play a lot, and I tell her, I want to try this, I want to try that. What do you think about it? And she said, well, let's try it.
Sure.
And with her being in the play, a lot of people would ask me, well, how is it to have the writer in the playwright in the play as an actress? I said, well, she wears two hats. So when she's on stage, she's an actress. When she's off stage, she's the playwright. And then we do discuss, if about the play and make sure that I'm on key for what she wanted to portray.
Sure.
And we have an awesome cast of 14 people,
Yeah.
and we have 3 comedians. Annie McKnight is
Oh
one of them,
yes.
and there's a couple of comedians that really hasn't done any stage plays, but they've gotten a chance to do this, and I think they've been bitten in a different way
I'll bet.
of being on stage. Yeah.
Well, I had a chance to meet Annie McKnight, and she's just absolutely fabulous. And I think we're going to have her on sometime soon, so people can just get a little bit of what she's all about, because she really is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
She's
So,
she's very good, and she has taken her role to heights I hadn't thought about in the play. With her just being there doing the script,
Sure.
she's really really good.
well, let me ask you
And
this.
so, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, when you have actors, you're doing this play every single night, the productions every single night, and I would imagine that people, they sometimes change the lines around just a little bit. Something happens, right?
That does happen.
They add their own little lines sometimes, and it's really end up being really funny.
So-
When they
so
add
Mildred-
something, I don't get mad that much. If it gets too off the chain, then I'll tell them in between scenes, okay, you got to calm it down a little bit.
So
But
Mildred has a really hard job, right? Because she's got you to deal with, because you're
Yeah.
changing things, and then the actors are going to come along and they're going to change things.
That's right. That's right.
well, they call themselves creating their character.
Exactly, of course. Of course they're creating. That's right. Well, congratulations on this new play. It sounds absolutely fabulous. And tell us a little bit about, now it's called the Grieving Widows Auxiliary. Is that right?
That's right. The Grieving Widows Auxiliary. Now that sounds like a club of nice little ladies, maybe a church organization auxiliary. Well, it's really anything but. They're out to find that next husband by hook or crook or any way they can. And so in Grieving Widows 1, Gilda, that's my character. Gilda is the only surviving member of the group that started like 30 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And she decides that we need some new blood, so some young blood, by the way. So they induct a young widow into the auxiliary, and their purpose is to use her for bait,
Yeah.
so she can draw older men or men, period, to their their
Affairs.
functions,
Yeah.
yeah, to their affairs, so the older women can feast on them. Well, we did get one young woman in Grieving Widows one, and Gilda, my character, is looking for husband number six.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in Grieving Widows 2, I have found that man. I am engaged. Gilda is engaged to potential husband number six. And
My
my
goodness.
fiance and I, we are at our engagement party.
Yeah.
And who shows up to the engagement party but my fiance's niece? And she happens to be that young woman that we used as bait in part one.
Yeah.
She doesn't like Gilda, and Gilda doesn't like her. So when she shows up at the engagement party, that's when the real fun
The
begins.
sparks
She
fly.
tries to destroy the relationship, and of course, Gilda is trying to hold on to her man.
Yes,
So that's the
absolutely.
premise.
Well, it sounds like just a fabulous show, and I can't wait to see it sometime soon. But Mildred, I want to ask you something. What does it feel like for you? You know, you write this play, and maybe it's a novel first, and then it becomes a play. I assume that happens sometimes, right? And
I
then,
do have my first novel that I wrote, Bitter Inheritance. I did turn it into a screenplay.
so, and you're doing that
We
pretty much alone, right? I mean, that's you're by yourself writing
by
writing
I
all of
do
those
write
words.
alone. I write, except for a couple of the plays. Now, my Looking for a Man, I co-authored that with another friend, Sylvia Roberts, and My Brother's Blood, I co-authored that with another friend, Ernestine Harbour.
Oh,
But those are the only two that I've co-authored with. All the others, I did them on my own. So my book, Bitter Inheritance, I turned it into a screenplay because everybody who wrote it, they were saying this needs to be a screenplay. This needs to be on the big screen. So we did the trailer, but that's as far as we got. We're still looking for funds to do the entire movie. So if there are any angels out there, that's what we called them years ago. I don't know what we call them now. Maybe just producers. We're looking for funds to shoot my screenplay, Bitter Inheritance, and then my stage play, When the Past Comes Back, the one about sorority hazing. And you know, that's still happening around the country. Our young people are killing one another in
yeah,
these hazing incidents.
yeah.
And that's something that really should be addressed. And I address my concerns from the stage. So this one I did turn into a screenplay. And that's what, after we finish the run of this play, The Grieving Widows Auxiliary Part 2, we're going to shoot the movie When the Past Comes Back.
Oh, that's fabulous. So, I want to ask you what the feeling is like. You know, after you've spent all this time putting words on paper, and then it goes into production, and you bring on Naomi to work with you as a director, and then you get opening night at some point way down in the future. Opening night comes along, and the play's done, and you get this standing ovation. What is that feeling like for you?
That is so exhilarating because when I finish a play, I don't know what it's going to do, whether it's going to be received or not by the
Uh,
audience tells me what I have. And opening night for this play, they told me I have a hit, I have a winner. So, yeah, and I'm on pins, really kind of nervous about it
I'll
until
bet.
the audience speaks to me. And
And they do speak, let me tell you. They speak their mind out loud. They get involved in what's happening on the stage. They're not whispering. They're like, "Yeah, you did it. You know you did it." And
Oh,
I'm in the
that's great.
background laughing. I stay in the back of it, in the audience, and I wish I could just tape what they're saying because they're so funny. So that tells us that we're on the right track. that they
Yes.
understand what we're talking about and they're in tune to the play.
Absolutely.
And some, yeah, some of the characters. One of the ladies, she's kind of new. She said, "I didn't know what to do." I said, "You did great." I
Yeah,
said, "Yeah, they didn't like you. That means you were doing a great job with your character."
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Mildred, what? Let me ask you this. I'll ask both of you actually, but Mildred, for you, what work of yours are you most proud of?
Probably my "When the Past Comes Back." I love that play. My producer in Inglewood, she brought it back quite a few times. I don't know how many. That one received 7 NAACP Theater Awards nominations.
Wow.
Um, yeah, the sorority, two girls were drowned at Dockweiler Beach.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just about a month after this play premiered in Los Angeles. That was a hazing incident. And I found out that one of the girls was the daughter of a good friend of mine.
Hmm.
So, yes. And so that one is really on my heart because our children, it has been banned in the colleges, they say, but they've
Yeah.
taken it underground. They are still doing it.
Sure.
And that is, yeah, it needs to be stopped. And as I said, I do speak my concerns from the stage. So that one is really close to my heart.
That
When
one
the
really makes
past
a
comes back.
difference.
Yeah, my ladies, they come together in the play, they come together 30 years after an incident where they caused a young woman's death. They come together 30 years later to discuss this incident.
Wow.
And that's the premise of that play, and it's how they are dealing with that incident. And lo and behold, it's all still so prevalent in all of their minds, and they're all dealing with it in these different ways. Yeah. You
Yeah.
want to tell them a little bit?
Well, there was an incident just recently, wasn't there, with a young man?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. I understand they were all drinking, and
Yeah.
so I guess they were all inebriated. He fell down some stairs, and some of the guys wanted to go get him and call an ambulance to take care of him. And I understand now this is hearsay now. But the ones in charge told him no, leave him down there, left him down there all night, and the poor guy died.
Wow.
You know, it's just terrible.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that needs to be stopped.
It needs
So
to be
that's
stopped.
yes, yes.
Well, God bless you for bringing that to people's attention, and that's got to be just a fabulous play. Well, Naomi, how about you? What are you most proud of in your work?
Grieving Widows, Auxiliary,
One of Mildred's
part
works.
one
Okay.
and part two, just to see how it flowed. In part one, we've only had besides you and the character, the niece
The
character,
niece Susan.
Susan, are the only two that was in part one, right? And
I think
and
so.
Lily, and Lily. There's only three characters that was in
Yes.
part one. Is in part two.
Mhm.
And I just like comedy. I just like the humor. And there's a lot of energy in that play. A lot of energy. We have Mildred running around the stage.
Good thing I can still run at 84.
It's a good thing. And you can catch a man too at 84.
Yeah, and I have to take my brain herbs too,
That's
Randy.
right.
She likes to write. Her plays are LONG. But I think as an actress, it's really good. They get a chance to really show their art by
Yeah.
doing her plays. Each character has a meaty part in her plays.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Now, you've been directing for how many years?
I started in the early 80s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I did a play called From Kings and Queens to Who Knows What that was written by one of the characters, one of the actors in our group, Val Omar. And we did that at Compton High School with the students. That was my first play.
So you
And so
have you been pretty much in the live theater?
Live theater since I moved to California since 1972.
I
Yes.
see. And Mildred, how about you? Have you pretty much just live theater?
Live theater.
Yeah.
That's my thing. But I am an actress. I am with the unions,
Uh-huh.
and I act every now and then. I've been in some movies and some TV sitcoms, and I've done some commercials. So I've done quite a bit.
And she sings.
Oh yeah, and she does too. We are both in a group called the Sassy Grandma.
Oh
Yes,
my
you're
goodness.
sassy too.
Well,
We got a chance to sing in Vegas last October.
We
Wow.
did.
Yeah.
We did.
My
I forgot
goodness.
about that.
wow. Well, next time you're over here in Las Vegas, you let me know, and I'll come out. And I got to come out and watch you guys.
For sure. We will
Absolutely.
never forget about you. We will let you know everything we're doing from now on.
I think we're going to be friends forever. So,
All right.
since you both are singers, you know, it'd only be right if you just gave us a little taste of what you can do.
Oh no, he
Oh,
Nothing like
I'm
putting you on the
gonna
spot.
wait till the midnight hour.
Ooh.
That's when my love comes tumbling down. I'm gonna wait till midnight hour when there's no one else around. That's a little bit.
All right. Well, that's fabulous.
It's four
Very
of
good.
us.
There are four of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you sing with music, or do you just sing with
Yes.
your voices?
Oh, we have the most wonderful pianist and music director, Miss Matilda Haywood. You might have heard of her. She has sung around the country. She has made albums. What do they call them now?
CDs.
CDs. Yeah,
Wow.
she's very good.
You know, it's interesting you say albums, because think about how many people who are alive right now don't even know what we're talking about. You know?
Yes, and they'll be saying, "What's an album?"
What's an album? That's right. I certainly remember them when I was a kid, but
All right.
yeah,
Oh yes.
absolutely. Well, Mildred, I want to ask you something. If you were me, what question would I ask Mildred?
What do you want to happen next,
Ah,
Mildred?
all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. So, what do you want to have happen next?
I want my movies on the big screen, and I got to do one play on Broadway, at least one, before they throw dirt in my face. And just in case there are people out there who don't know what throwing dirt in your face is, that means when I'm in my casket, they put it in the ground, and the grave diggers start covering me up.
That's right. That's about 80 or 90 more years, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I tell them I'm going to live to at least about 150. Going to be a walking encyclopedia.
Well, you are really in great health. You and I were talking about when we were talking in person about eyesight, right? And you were talking about
Yeah.
the Bilberry.
Bill
plants that you're
Berry,
taking.
yes.
Bilberry, yeah.
Bill-
You said your eyesight just keeps getting better.
Oh yeah, the chief herb for the eyes. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, I was seeing the floaters, the flashes, the spots, flashes, and I'm thinking, my goodness, I'm going blind. And I went to the doctor, and he said, "Oh, you're just getting old." Well, I knew better than that. And I had just begun my career in herbs. I was in my late 40s, and so I had found out that bilberry is the chief herb for the eyes. So I ordered about 12 bottles from my company. I saturated my body with that bilberry. The floaters, the spots, the flashes, everything went away.
My goodness.
I found out later cataracts were trying to form, and this stopped them in their tracks.
Is
Oh,
that
that's
right?
good to
Wow.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's fabulous. Well, congratulations on that. That's absolutely amazing. Well, Naomi, let me ask you the same question. And if you were me, what question would I ask Naomi?
Wow. What do I want to be when I grow up?
Okay. So, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I would like to continue to be happy, continue to doing my art, and enjoying life and helping people.
Great
That's what
answer.
be when I
Very good.
keep doing when I grow up. Oh yeah, I would like to see my name in lights.
Mine too. Right up there with mine.
That's
And
right.
you know what? She just graduated.
With my master's in divinity.
Yes.
So, and I'm teaching classes at my church dealing with damaged emotions and how to counsel people.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Become a Christian counselor.
Oh, that's fabulous. That's wonderful.
And when we're our singing group, she's the one who tries to keep us on track.
Well, she's a
Yeah.
director. She's supposed to do that, right?
Well, that's what she's supposed to do.
That's right. It's a little hard when you have to direct the person who wrote the script, though. You know, that's got to be difficult a little bit, don't you think, Naomi?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes we look at each other and I tell her to go sit down. I said, you go sit down someplace. And then I said, I'm directing now. And then she'll laugh and say, okay.
Yeah.
But wait a minute, just for a few minutes, because she'll come over and whisper in my ear what she wants me to direct.
Right. Well, you guys just you go from one fun time to another, don't you?
Yeah,
We do.
It's a great union. It really
Yes.
is. That God has blessed us for many of years. We had separated for a minute. She went her way, I went mine, because I stopped directing and acting for a while. And my husband passed away in 2014, and I said, well, what do I want to do now? And I told Mildred I wanted to get back into it.
All right.
Absolutely. Just want to be like Mildred, right?
Yes. Yeah, I want to be 84, moving, and being a firecracker just like her.
That's right. Mildred, I want to ask you something because, 84 years ago, things were a whole lot different in this world than they are today. And where did you grow up?
I grew up in the southern part of Missouri, Essex, a little town called Essex, Missouri.
Essex. Is that over by Joplin, or is it over on the other side by Springfield?
You know, Joplin does ring a bell.
Okay.
Is it
Mm-hmm.
close to
Uh,
Springfield?
I don't know. It was yeah, and what you were talking about, times were different.
Yeah.
Something got me out of the South. I did not want to be in the South. I just said, and I was 10 years old when we left, but I knew I did not want to be in the South because I was not a Southern girl. I needed to get out of there, and I guess I can tell you what happened. My father always had his own business.
Uh-huh.
So we had our own cotton patch. He grew our cotton. We picked, planted, we chopped our cotton, and then we go chop for the man.
Wow.
Okay, and pick for the man. So while we were attending our crop, Daddy took his cotton to the gin one day, and the man at the gin tried to cheat him.
Oh.
Tried to cheat my dad out of his money. My dad, half Indian, and half French. Okay. Well, I guess one part of him kind of reared up in him, and he came home to get a shotgun to go back and kill the man.
Oh, man.
And my mom stopped him, and she called our relatives in the Midwest and told them, we're moving now. They found us a house, and that's how I got out of the South.
So did you moved to Chicago? Is that where you moved?
No, we moved to the St. Louis area,
Oh,
the
St. Louis.
Midwest.
Oh, okay. Same state. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. What was it like when you were a little girl? Let's see, what was 84 or 80 years ago?
Uh-huh.
Not many people had a car, did they?
Oh, my dad had a car. You know,
Did
one
he?
of those black, I think it was a Chevrolet with the running board on the side.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. That's what we had. My dad always had his own business. He had his own car, and that's what we rode in
Yeah.
when we could, but all of us children, we had a little problem. We got a car sick.
Yeah.
So he had a truck too. And most of the time we had to travel in the back of the truck so we would not get sick. I had an interesting life, but I had my mom and dad and 7 sisters and brothers, a big family, So I was always a happy child. I had a great childhood.
I'll bet you were a reader, right? You read a lot?
Oh yes, everything I could get my hands on, and I still do read.
Yeah.
And I'm the seventh child, and I don't know where this came from, but they call us the black sheep in the family, the seventh child,
Oh,
like the oddball.
Really?
Uh huh. I don't know if
special
you've ever
one.
heard that.
The special one.
That's what I
That's right,
say.
the special one.
I'm the special one.
That's right.
Anyway, and I'm the one who's away from home. They call me the vagabond. Everybody else is still congregated in the area back there in the St. Louis area.
Are they really? Wow. So you're the
Mhm.
seventh out of how many?
There were 12. The
Wow.
first four died at birth, right after birth, and then eight of us decided to live.
Wow. Very
Hmm.
interesting.
So I grew up with seven brothers and sisters. Hmm.
Wow. It's wonderful to have a big family like that. It's fabulous.
Yes, yes, it was.
And are you still close with the ones that are still around?
Yes, yes. When I met you in Vegas the other day, my two living sisters were there. Two of them have died, and one brother has died. So there are five of us left, two boys and three girls.
Oh,
So the three girls, we were all in Vegas.
oh, that's great.
Uh huh.
Oh, fabulous. Well, Naomi, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Detroit, Michigan.
In
I
Detroit.
was
Uh-huh.
I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, but I moved to Roseville, Michigan when I was 18 months old, and then when I turned 5, we moved to Detroit, the city of Detroit. And my sister still lives in the same house we moved in 1955.
Wow.
My goodness. Wow. Boy,
Yeah.
that town has changed a lot, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. There and I go back every once in a while, so all my friends and families telling me they're really building up downtown Detroit. There's a lot of things, new things and good things that's happening
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I've heard
Hmm.
that. Yeah, that's wonderful.
But I left in 71 because 1970 winter was so bad. I said they weren't going to catch my behind in Detroit in the wintertime anymore.
I don't blame you. You
So
know, it's hard to
that's
relate when you're out here where, in California and Nevada, down here where we are, because that cold weather up there is so different. But
it
we,
is.
we don't ever
It
have to worry about shoveling snow or any of those things that you have to there. But it does change life, that's for sure. So, Naomi, this play that you're doing with the Grieving Widows, uh, is there any parts to this play that sort of true life for you?
Well, yes. When I did Grieving Widows 1, my husband was still alive, and then he passed away. And when Mildred asked me to direct Grieving Widows 2, I didn't tell her that I was hesitant.
Oh, yes.
I didn't tell her that because after I read the play, I said, "Oh shoot, there's nothing for me to cry about." um, but the it helped me see the humor, and it might sound a little weird for me to say it this way, but the humor in losing someone that you love so much, and to look at life differently. There's a lot of people that are still grieving over their loved ones who's been for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, this play to me help would help somebody to say, life goes on. I might not be looking for a man, which I'm not right now, but it brought joy in my life to do this play and helped me to look at life a little differently and realize that life does go on no matter what. We've
Yeah.
had some people in the audience who, not many, but was not able to deal with the subject because they were grieving. Okay, and they said it was a good play, but I think it was a little bit too new for them. Um, that they had just lost someone recently and they weren't able to deal with the play.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing but rave reviews. Nothing but rave reviews. I mean, um, church, churches has asked us come in and do the play. When they saw the play, they said, yes, we would like you to come to our church and do the play. So it's a very good, and I'm using the word clean play, great humor. And we have a trailer that we've done, and I think it's on YouTube. In fact,
Okay.
I know it's on YouTube that can be seen.
So if we
And
went and did a
I'm
search,
sure
if
I'm
we,
sure that you would enjoy it when you see it.
so if we just searched for Grieving Widows, it would pop up?
Yes, it should
Okay.
pop up. Yes.
Okay, well that's great. But you know what? You know, life is really about attitude, and you know we all grieve in our own ways, and many times very differently from other people that we know. But you know, it's really a matter of just sort of shifting our perspective, right? And it sounds like you
Yes.
just have done a fabulous job of shifting your perspective to look at the positive instead of the
Yeah.
negative. Yeah.
Instead of the negative, yes. We have, like I said, we have a great group, and then it was a couple other ladies in the group that had lost their husbands also. So we had a good cry when we talked about that, and then we said, okay, let's go on the stage and
Yep.
let's get started.
Let's go have fun. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Mildred,
Yeah.
let me ask you something. And because of your years of wisdom, you know, we have people of all ages watching the show and people from all around the country, maybe all over the world. What advice do you have for people that maybe haven't lived quite as long, that haven't experienced all the things that you've experienced? But what advice do you have for younger people that are coming up right now?
You have only one shot at it. Give it your best, and anything you want to do, go for it, and don't let anyone tell you you can't do it. I mean, nobody. Go for it and give it your best shot, and you just might be surprised. I'm still looking for a whole lot of surprises in my life, and I want them to come on.
Well, I don't think there's any better advice than that. That is absolutely fabulous advice, and you know that's what I love about both of you gals. That you know you're so positive and looking towards the future, and you know today's the first day of the rest of our life, right?
That's true.
Every day.
That's true, and take care of yourself.
Yeah,
You know,
gotta,
and
you gotta
stay
take care of
away
yourself.
from the drugs. I have a problem with that.
Yeah,
You know, our young people picking, they see what's happening all over, especially Hollywood
yeah,
with the drug thing, even some of the major stars, you know. And why start doing something like that? You know, that's going to mess up your mind, you know.
yeah.
And when I get sleepy, I don't take anything to keep me awake. I go to sleep. Okay? Get
Absolutely.
tired, go get into bed and go to sleep.
That's it.
Yes, you know, you don't need a picker upper, you don't need something to put you down.
You
Just
just
go
need some
down,
rest.
or you
That's
know,
right. Well,
just
you
take
too.
life as it comes naturally. And
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think you live a much better, cleaner life and much happier life. You know.
Absolutely. Well, you two are so delightful, and boy, this hour has gone so fast. We could talk for hours on end, I think, but we'll have to save that for another time and have you back on when you get your next play going, and when you have it on Broadway and the big lights and your names are up there.
Yes,
We'll have you
yes.
back
Yeah,
on. And
you're going. Oh, we're gone.
No, we're not.
no. But anyways, great having you with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you at one of your plays sometime soon. And in the meantime, congratulations and God bless both of you for all the great things you're doing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And
Thank
if
you
there's
very much.
anybody listening who wants to bring us on as a play, want to produce us, let us know.
Okay, now
Yeah.
how do they get a hold of you? Real fast. We only have about half a minute. Yeah.
Okay, my Mildred at 661-265-9344, or on the internet DUMAS at att.net.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for both of you for being on the show, and it is just absolutely fabulous. And for those of you watching, we'll see you next week. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.